Hi guys, this is Betamax Man. This is a very special video. Why is it a special video? Because this is a special Betamax VCR. This is not any ordinary Betamax, and yes, the shielding on this thing is huge. So what is this thing? Let me take a look. Extended Definition Beta. What does that stand for? ED-BETA. This is a EDV 7500, I believe it is. Yeah, it's a EDV 7500. This is one of the higher end models, and it's got all the bells and whistles. It's got front input jacks, just like my 1000. And I actually have two SOHF 1000s. One of them I'm working on getting it going again, and the other one I have. But so probably one of the 1000s are gonna be up for sale, you know. I just have to decide what one I want to put up for sale. But anyway, yeah, so this is basically the tape formulation is a metal oxide tape formulation. So you have to if you want to get the extended definition recording, you have to record on a blank ED-BETA tape. But those tapes are hard to find and extremely expensive. So what I have done is ordered some Betacam SP tapes because it's the same tape formulation. So we will record on ED-BETA when I get those tapes in. But these are the Betacam SP, and make sure that you get the small tapes, because if you get the bigger tapes, obviously you're not going to be able to use them. So the smaller tapes come in, they have like 60-minute, 30-minute, 10-minute, 20-minute tapes. So you want to make sure that you're getting the small Betacam SP tapes, because the big, they have the great big ones. There's big SP tapes, and then there's the small ones. But anyway, so just the fact that I can now record in 500 lines of resolution on a videotape is pretty awesome. This thing has synchro edit. It's got a bunch of other different features. It's got frame by frame. I believe that this is a 4-head machine. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I believe that this is a 4-head machine. So you have frame by frame, you have perfect pause, you have slow motion. So this thing will do all kinds of stuff. The only thing that I found that this model doesn't have is it does not have an audio dub, which is unusual because usually the high-end machines, but then again, my 1000, I don't think it has an audio dub either. So anyway, but let's go ahead and we'll take a look at it. Now I've already took the screws out. I've already cleaned the heads and I've already tested it out. So I've tested it with both a Beta 2 and a Beta 1 high band recording, and they both play beautifully. The tracking is a little bit off, and I'll have to do some adjustments, but the tracking is, yeah, with it being off just a little bit, is not really a huge deal, but it is something I'm gonna fix. So this is the 711 B3 chassis. And you'll notice that this plate here that screws to the video heads is a titanium. And there's titanium here. So what is this? Well, this is a tape it's a God, I'm trying to think of the name, but it's a tape stabilizer. Yeah, that's what it is. It's a tape stabilizer. It stabilizes the tape, and it's got everything except for flying erase heads. It would have been nice if this would have had flying erase heads, but that's okay. At least now we can record in ED-BETA. So this is the 711 B3 chassis. So this one does use a rotary encoder switch. So the rotary encoder switch is actually right underneath there. This was one of the very few betas that did. ED-BETA came out in 1988. So this came out 2 years after I was born. So we have a Beta 1 tape here. This is recorded in Beta 1 Super High Band. This is Season 2 of Star Wars Rebels TV show, because I recorded it on 2 Beta. I'm gonna need to do some lubrication. The tape is sometimes having issues loading and unloading. So we're gonna have to I have to basically clean all the old grease off and re-grease it. But also by using the machine, the grease that's already there, the grease is not dried up, but it's got to be spread throughout the gears. So once this machine gets used a few times, the lubrication will start to work, and it'll start to work like it should. And you can see how fast Beta 1 is. So Beta 1 really turns these tapes very fast. But there is the picture quality. Can't show you much, but I'll show you half of it, because YouTube will hit me with a copyright. I can show you like that. If I move it back and forth, they can't, that way I can bypass the copyright, and you guys can see, the workings of it. That's fast forward. This is a digital processing. There's digital processing in this machine. That's why you see the pixelated images when you go into backwards. See that? And it has to catch up with itself. So this thing will play back regular beta tapes, and of course it'll play back ED-BETA tapes. So you can record an ED-BETA with this machine, you can play it back. You can even just do regular beta recordings. So this one will record in 2 and 3. There is no Beta 1 on ED-BETA machines. I don't think any of the ED-BETA machines had Beta 1. They really didn't need to, because the digital processing and stuff that's done is able to put 500 lines of resolution on a videotape with the digital processing that happens. So this thing has just just beautiful. And of course, if it's been recorded in Super Beta, the Super Beta light will come on. If it's been recorded in Hi-Fi Stereo, the Hi-Fi Stereo light will come on. Of course, we have LED lights that shine through the image of the play arrow, and there's a light on the back of it. So I don't know of anybody that has an ED-BETA. I don't know anybody. Nobody on the YouTube community has ever posted any videos. I can't find any videos on ED-BETA. I mean, it just seems like not a lot of people have them. Maybe, I think there were some videos that were, you couldn't understand what they were saying because it was in Japanese, but I found a couple of Japan YouTubers that showed off their ED-BETAs, but nothing in the US. So this was a US model. This particular model was sold for the United States and Canada. But this machine was manufactured in 1988. So I'm actually older than this machine by 2 years. But and then here's your shuttle edit. I'm not sure what that does. I think you have to be in edit mode to use that. But the fact that, you know, and it has line inputs. So that has line inputs. And that was what really was cool. Now, the one thing with ED-BETA, you'll see it has an S-Video connector. Okay, so the reason why Sony came out with ED-BETA is to beat JVC's Super VHS. You gotta remember, Sony came out with Beta, JVC came out with a VHS. Sony came out with Super Beta, later on JVC had Super VHS that recorded in over 400 lines, and Super Beta could only do 290. So when JVC came out with Super VHS and it was over 400 lines, Sony knew they had to do something. So they came out with extended definition beta. So this was the last attempt to beat JVC, and they couldn't do it. But they did in the professional market. But this machine is one of the nicest, greatest machines. And I love the ED-BETA logo right there. You know, the 711 B3 chassis, they've got rid of the tooth belt. So what you have is you've got a motor specifically for the cassette housing, and then you have a motor specifically for threading the tape around head drum. And that tape stabilizer is a really nice feature. It looks like your everyday Betamax. But, you know, this was the last generation chassis. This was the last chassis they made for the Beta machines. Now, what would it have looked like if the Beta format would have survived? Well, I assume that it would look like the updated VHS machines. I would think that they would move the cassette mechanism to the center, and you would have a circuit board on the bottom. Now, they did produce Beta machines all the way through the 90s. in Japan. Japan only had beta machines all the way through the 90s. So beta was a successful format in Japan. But as far as the United States, in 1993, that was the last machine that ever rolled off the line. Was the I think it was the 2100, the SLHF 2100 was one of the last beta machines. And then they had the SLHF 2000, which was the brother of 2100, only it didn't have your Beta 1S recording capability. It just was Beta 2 and 3, but it would play back Beta 1S. So let me show you guys. I'm going to put this all back together and I'll show you guys, but it has wooden sides that go on each side. So I'm going to put this thing back together so that you guys can see what this thing looks like with all of its parts intact. So and those are the panels right there, those are the wooden sides. So I'll see you guys in just a second. Yep, here she is with the wooden panels. So the wooden panel does have some damage here on the bottom, but you won't see it from the front, obviously. And then here's the wooden panels from the other side, and this panel is fine, it's perfect. So basically this is just one beautiful machine, and I just am so happy to have it. So happy to have this beautiful piece of machinery, because it's just to be able to record in the extended definition. I can't wait to see what happens. I can't wait to record with it and just see the quality of the picture. So I'm thinking that this is gonna be DVD quality on a videotape, so it's gonna be pretty awesome to have it. I love the fact that I have front inputs, so that is just awesome, amazing to me. And I can't say enough about it. So let's turn it around and I'll let you guys take a look at the back side. So I'm gonna put the camera down for just a minute here so you guys can see. I'm gonna turn it around so you can see the back side. And I'm gonna go ahead and unplug it so you guys can see the back without the wires in the way. And then we'll see, because I think this was manufactured in '88, but I'm not 100% positive on that, but I'm pretty sure. And I don't really see a manufacturing date. I was wondering if this machine was going to work or not. The guy couldn't test it. It was untested. I paid $180 for it and an additional $20 to ship it. So I lucked out. He wanted like $220 for it, and I talked him down to $180. But it had this refurbished sticker on here. So it was obviously serviced by Sony engineer. So, but then you have this is awesome too, because just like the SLHF 1000, you have an extra port that you can plug another machine into. So, like, I can plug in my 1000 into this one, or vice versa. Now, this one has VTR 1, 2, and 3. So what that would allow you to do is hook two machines up together. So on the remote, there's a remote that I have. This remote is actually for a SLHF 900, but it allows you to switch between VTR1 and VTR2. So the recorder will be VTR2 and the player will be VTR1. So literally I can switch back and forth what machine I want this remote to operate. Because that way, if you're hitting the play button, you're not activating both machines, you're just activating the one. There's also a control cable, and the control cable you can get, and it'll synchronize the machines. So this one does have some editing features, but this one has S-Video. S-Video is going to give me the best quality picture. So if I'm going to record on ED-BETA, I'm going to want to use the S-Video. But I don't have an S-Video cable, so I'll have to buy one. But yeah, definitely want to hook up with the S-Video, because that's where the quality is really going to lie. Just like with the Super VHS, because I have a Super VHS. This is an SLVR5UC. And this machine, does that. So, it has the control cable hookup as well. But anyway, so yeah. So I have a Betamax, I have a Super VHS, I have an ED-Betamax, I have a Laserdisc player, I have an HD DVD player. I am all set for all formats, except for the new 4K format. I'm not gonna invest in that because that is way too much money to spend right now. So, but I am a huge fan of the beta format. I always have. Even when I was a little kid, I wanted a beta machine. But all we had was VHS. When I was growing up, we had VHS. That's what we had. And I always loved VCRs, you know, even when I was like 12, 13 years old. I mean, I think I was messing around with VCRs since I was like 10 years old. But, and then I got into computers, and then I started really getting into the beta format, because now I was old enough to, you know, multiple years later, I was able to buy, you know, a beta machine and start exploring them, and it wasn't until about 5-6 years ago that I started to repair them and sell them. So, but I don't find a manufacturing date. I'm not seeing date, but I'm pretty sure that this is a 1988 model, because this was one of the there were there was an EDV 7500, and then there was an EDV 9000. So the 9000, that one was kind of like the one SLHF 1000. It had a title maker, title generator, and this one does not have a title generator. But I could purchase a title generator, or I can use my title generator on my 1000 here. So basically what I could do is play tapes and run them into the input of the 1000 here. So basically what I could do is, because the 1000 has a character generator. I can put the character generator, or no, I think it's vice versa. The 1000 would have to hook into the input of this one, because the character generator will need to be recorded with this machine. So, anyway guys, I'll see you later. Bye-bye.